Hey guys, so I am in Halloween, South Carolina, aka Conway, South Carolina. They changed the name in October every year to Halloween. So this is the city of Halloween, and I am at a historic cemetery of Kingston Church. Let me reverse this so you guys can see this church. Now I'm on the back end of the church here, where the cemetery is at, and over this way is the river, back that way. So the Waccamaw River is down from the church, but the water that is directly behind the church and directly behind the Spivey house, which is just down the road, the Mary Beaty house, where this family had lived, this water is called Kingston Lake, and that plays a part into the story that I'm getting ready to tell you. So all of this, what you see, this would be considered Kingston Lake. Look at that. So you see the graves are right here. Some boaters coming by. So what is the story with the ghost children of Mary Beaty? Well, let's start with the beginning. Mary Beaty was born in Maine, and she found her way down to Horry County, South Carolina. She taught school. She taught for 2 terms, and ended up in September 1851. She married an Horry County native, Thomas Beaty. Her and Thomas got married, and they built a house on Kingston Street, with Kingston Lake right behind it. And Thomas was successful. He was a state delegate, and he ended up being a publisher for the Horry News. So he was doing well, and they started their family. They ended up having 5 children. Oh my gosh, guys, check out this one. Gosh, this one's over here, almost under. 27 years, died 1898. I just had to show you guys that stone under the church. Okay, so back to the story. So they have 5 children, and the first 4 are girls. They're Cora, Clara, May, Frederica, and the last child was their only son, and his name was Henry Brookman, and they called him Brookie. Brookman was Mary's maiden name. Everything's going okay until 1859, and this is when May and Clara both contract diphtheria, and they die 2 months apart. May is around 3 years old, and Clara is 7. So May and Clara die in 1859. Now, fast forward 10 years, 1869, Cora gets married. She marries a man named Charles Bolton, and he worked for her father for the newspaper. And he was a lawyer and a newspaper man, and they go on their honeymoon. And they're on a steamboat, and he ends up getting attacked by mosquitoes, and he contracts a fever, and he passes away very early on in their marriage, within the first few weeks. And so Cora returns home to live with her family, with her parents and her sister and brother. So the next year, 1870, it's July. It's the summertime. And Frederica's around 14, 15 years old. And she decides she's going to go swimming in Kingston Lake behind their home. And there's a servant there with her. And so she goes in the water, she's swimming, and the servant's watching, she's nearby. But something happens. Frederica gets in trouble, and she starts to panic, starts to drown. And she's hollering for help. And the servant, she hears her calls and cries, and she rushes to her aid. And this is around the same time Cora hears it as well. So the servant rushes in to try and save Frederica. They both get in trouble. Cora naturally runs to the aid of her sister and the servant, and what ends up unfortunately happening is all three women, they all drown. So in 1870, Frederica, Cora both pass away, and now Thomas and Mary have lost all four of their daughters. They have one child left, which is Brookie. And Brookie is about 11 or 12 years old. The next year, 1871, Brookie is sick. He's upstairs in his bedroom, and he's sick. He's been sick for a little bit. And Mary is sitting downstairs in the parlor, and all of a sudden she hears some music playing. And she's like, "What is that?" And then appearing before her are what she said, her four angels. She always described as her four angels, and they were her four deceased daughters. And she asked them, "Why are you here?" And they said, "We've come to collect our brother." So naturally, Mary ran upstairs and discovered that Brookie had just passed. Now, Mary was not a dramatic woman. She was not known for that. She was known to be an intelligent, calm individual. She was a lady who was up on current events. She wasn't someone who to exaggerate stories for attention. So this was a story that she told for the rest of her life, and it came to be considered truth. And that is the story of the ghost children of Mary Beaty, that her four daughters appeared before her to tell her that they were coming to take her brother. So Thomas and Mary lost all five of their children at young ages. Now, if you go to Kingston Church, you're going to see at the back of the church, in the cemetery, you're going to see the memorial on the side of the church. Apparently, from what I gather, is Cora and her husband Charles and other people, Brookie and them. I believe they are buried. They were actually buried in the original burying ground, which the church built over. And there's other people too that are memorialized there, that they apparently, their graves are under the church as well. I don't know how that came about. I'm not exactly sure. I know that this is all a very old cemetery, very old church and everything like that, but I don't really understand how, I personally don't understand how the church got built over it. But that's there, and that says it was. So now there has been very Victorian memorials made. The most Victorian one noticeable is the two children that are carved in stone. They're laying on a pillow bed, and they're holding each other, two toddlers, and that is to remember May and Clara. If you try to see their marker today, it's kind of hard to see inside because of the dirt that's gotten in there. So I'm going to post a picture of what the monument inside, the carved figure of the children should look like, so you can get a good idea. And I'm going to leave you guys with me walking around the cemetery and commenting on different stones. I hope you guys have a great day. Keep seeking. Please drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed the story of the ghost children of Mary Beaty. Take care, guys. Bye. Bodies inside the church, that are underneath. Okay, let's check this out. Captain Daggett. Addie and Mabel. This always interests me. The gravesite art. He was 64 years old. Mother. I suppose these are children, probably. Until we meet again? No. William Lau Parker. So it's kind of hard sometimes to figure out exactly where people are laying. Another, and of course, a Woodman of the World tree tombstone here. Wow, look how, and what I've learned and read, this was all one piece. It's not carved in pieces or anything. It was one piece. These are one piece that are carved like this. Look at that detail. And this would have been 1904. They're always eye-catching. Nosy. Just storage. Well, a lot going on around here, and look at that. Isn't that pretty? Such a pretty, but I just can't figure out. I got to read more about how the church got built on top of the graves. Like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand that. That's okay.